Thank you. So welcome everybody to a PUP webinar this morning. And our presenter is Dr. Guofang Wan, who is at the University of Chicago and who is presently a Fulbright Scholar in Brazil, sunny Brazil for us who are in the snow and the wet. We are finding her very lucky. So Guofang, if you want to share your screen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hola from Brazil. Hola is one of the few Portuguese words that I can say. Means hello. Welcome, everybody. Can you see the slides?
No, not yet.
Okay. Let me try it again. Can you see the slides now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. If it's not too small this way, I'll just stay this way. Okay, again, welcome everyone. I'm here to share, I call it Critical AI Literacy Framework. To begin with, you can see that this workshop, this image here is created on Canva. I'm conscious to cite everything I use from AI. Also, the goal for today quickly is to propose a critical AI literacy framework to embrace GenAI and harness its challenges here. Hopefully, this critical AI literacy framework can be used to help us to use AI tools safely, ethically, and effectively in education settings. Before we start, I would like to, a good teaching strategy is always having some quick brainstorm here. I would like everybody to quickly think about a few things, a few AI tools that you have used, and for what purposes. To begin with, you can either just say it or you can put it in chats.
Like Allison, I've experimented with ChatGPT, a lot of tools for researching information. I have also used translation tools, Simoden, Grammarly tools for the quality of the language in my articles.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Peters. Anyone else? ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Elicit, DeepL. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. To brainstorm ideas. These are the purposes to adapt. Okay, okay. Wonderful. So we've all bring some quite a number of experience of using tools, so what are top 2 concerns that we have for ChatGPT?
Validity of information,
Right.
resound.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I worry about the students not learning about critical thinking through the writing process and that kind of thing.
Okay.
If they're not doing their work, then they're not learning in the same kind of way.
Yeah. Not learning the process. Okay. Copyright, ensuring the learning outcomes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I will start by sharing some of the what research has said about the current status of AI in higher education, and then move on to critical AI literacy approach and the theories behind it. It's a little bit theoretical today. Hopefully, this is a tentative, evolving framework. And I know I'm no way an expert on this, but I know you all experience that may be helping me to shape this and to develop this. So, okay, my next slides. Based on some of the research, this is how generative AI tools has been used in education, especially in higher education. We all know that I've only picked the tools that I've used to, first of all, we can use to create the content we teach, Grammarly, GPT, Canva, I use Canva. So these are things we can use to if we have a new topic we want to study, I can put it in there, but I'm not going to follow it. But, so anyway, also fostering student engagement, interactive learning. I've used tools to create, in the classroom, quick quiz or some kind of poll so student can watch it and learn it. And also use it to meet student instructional needs and personalized learning using ChatGPT, Perplexity AI as AI tutors, if student needs some, help. The assess student learning, Gradescope seems to be an interesting one that can help me to speed up some of the learning, but I have a lot of reservation about this. So, research, like Dr. Martin said, she used some of this, and I use the SCIT, SSET, if you want to call it that way. And I found it's helpful. So these are some ways that people have been saying ChatGPT is being used in higher education, but not limited to this. Talking about the recent development, this is actually from very recent research. There is the use of ChatGPT, the GenAI is being increased. About 70% of educators, students use it. But the concerns that we also talked about are still there. The inaccuracy, the over-reliance, and the academic dishonesty. Deepfakes also are still concerns over there. And people are still talking about the lack of policy, the lack of training to guide. There's still a lack of consensus among the higher education people on how should we use it and how should we not use it. And also the next trend of study is in workforce, the AI use is being there is increased adoptions, but staff is not trained and people are not ready to go. And interestingly, the third finding here in the research trend is GenAI has increased the student learning and the motivation and helping to reduce their mental efforts. And the study also said that it hasn't been affecting student self-efficacy and hasn't increased the cheating rates. I'm not sure about, but this is based on the research. I found that some of the guidelines, trainings, and policies has been set by private organizations or government agencies, but individual higher education institutions are still following up. Like UNESCO has a guideline for human-centered AI use, Office of Educational Technology guidelines to call for integrating AI in higher education. UK and US set frameworks for AI companies to develop safe, ethical tools for education particularly. And there are about 25 United States educational department have issued guidelines for K-12 schools, but higher education, we don't see any of this yet. Talking about research that calls for critical use. Oh, sorry, there's a misspell here. Critical uses of AI. Research like defining AI policy with a framework is still a critical needs, like we were saying in higher education. Policies are AI development has been outpaced the policy making, because administrators are as new to AI as we are. Maybe we know a little bit more than they do, and they are hesitating still. information literacy is critical in the digital AI age. There are research that calls for information literacy. Deep fakes make critical uses a must to have knowledge. And like our own Dr. Sarah Eaton said, in post-plagiarism age, with GenAI forming a normal life of human life affecting everything we do, we live, we teach, we learn, interact every day. Critical AI skills become an imperative in my mind. The next thing is our preliminary analysis of our PUP data also indicated this. This is a tentative preliminary. The study at Loyola, that data we collected, we actually are pretty sure that people, but this is in 2024, people called for policy guidelines. Is non-existing, and both surveys and focus group interviews find a critical approach is needed because we decided to educate and not to legislate, but we don't know how to educate and no guidelines. And some people are all for it. Some people are banning it. And the students are cautious, especially doctoral students are cautiously admitting that they are using AI in one way or another. They don't want to get in trouble. So that's the situation in at least one of the universities there. The PUP data analysis from the focus group in English, we only look at the English part, which is conducted in 2024. We looked at about 10 universities. These are preliminarily some major findings here, like saying assignment structure and planning, students across the 10 institutions relied on the guiding criterion, that rubrics that professor provided. Like me, I still don't put a rubric saying you can use AI. I don't have that yet. I'm still trying to be quiet about it. So time pressure and procrastination are frequently cited as the drivers for the last minute writing behavior. Go online and get helpful from ChatGPT. The research information literacy, students express difficulty in finding, they're still not sure, finding credible top-rated resources. They relies on Google, ChatGPT to access and to do that. Citation, paraphrasing, students are not weaving between oversighting and underciting still. Some are not really familiar with paraphrasing or indirect, direct quotes, etc. The use of generative AI, AI tools are used to draft, to edit the preparation work. We haven't heard any direct students saying they use full content creation for AI, which is not a bad thing. Students are cautious. The same thing as the Loyola part. They really are uncertain about faculty expectations, and they're saying, no, I haven't used it. Oh, I only use the Grammarly to check the grammar. Faculty support instructional clarity. Students value help, rubrics, scaffolding, but there is a gap in guidance provided for which can contribute to misuse of sources for AI tools. So these are preliminary citing analysis. Let me see here. Yeah. That's what I found through literature review and through previous studies. The situation about AI use currently, and also the situation of needs for AI literacy. So what is a critical AI literacy? I borrowed the definition is is, there are many versions of definitions. I found this one by Long and Margaret Cole helpful. It refers to competencies that enable individuals to critically evaluate AI technologies, communicate, collaborate effectively with AI, and use AI as a tool online, at home, and in the workplace. It's a mouthful definition. To me, it's just skills to help us to use AI tools safely, ethically, and effectively in education settings and everyday life. That's just to me. I saw there are some chats here. Is there anything that I need to answer immediately?
No, you can keep going.
Okay. All right. So this, I'm using this acronym here, critical AI literacy here. The emerging framework, I'm going to explain this. In my mind, this is an expansion or part of the digital literacy or media literacy concept. We are all familiar with the digital literacy or media literacy. To me, it's just a different application of similar but different application of digital literacy. And drawing on critical pedagogy, this call supports education policy adaptation, addresses ethical issues, and optimize education equity, human-centered creative knowledge learning. This is basically based on UNESCO's definition. I have a buy-in for that. And in my mind, I actually built on this model in the AI literacy I examined all of these models. I'm not going to share each one of them with you, but I'll just share with you the one that I am really have buy-in for and find it covers what I'm hoping to talk about. Critical media literacy, with its emphasis on analyzing, evaluating media, provides a foundation for critical AI literacy, allowing for the integration of GenAI tools in education while holding the academic integrity. This is obviously the favorite of mine, which this is by Hobbes. It's an old one. I was thinking about, is it because I am more familiar with it, or I used it in the past and I'm not familiar with the others? But on the other hand, after examining all of those, I still think this actually covers everything we need to talk about. It basically starts from here: access, analyze, evaluate, create, reflect, and act. He has a quick definition for each one of this. And I am kind of rewriting all of this to include AI in here. So access meaning finding and use these tools skillfully and relevantly, working with other people. Analyze, evaluate, comprehending the message, think critically, not taking everything at face value, question the quality, the credibility, the point of view, etc. And create meaning to use it creatively to create a new knowledge, create something new that fits your purposes. Reflect on this, think about evaluate the social responsibility, ethical principles, the social impact, etc. when you use it. And act, if you feel there is, in my mind, collaboratively with other people to share the knowledge and workplace community. If you see some issues in there, don't stay there, but take an action. And I think Puppet is actually doing this. We're taking an action, a very big action and good action. So this is the critical media literacy that I'm building the critical AI literacy on. So in the article that's coming up in press, actually we base this on the study of Loyola, and this is going to be published with the our Pop Journal special issue. And you can see I have access, analyze, evaluate. I separated analyze and evaluate, create, act. I would call this critical artificial intelligence literacy framework. And I'll explain and demonstrate to you the most of the uses here. In my mind, the first one, the access, is a basic skill that allows we can find out, audience can find out what AI tools are out there. You know, we talked about several AI tools coming up every day, new ones, old ones, etc. So where to find them initially, and who can use which for what purposes, and how best use AI applications ethically, safely, effectively, and responsibly. In this part, I see the academic integrity is included in here. You find things you need to use, and you use it ethically and effectively, safely. So the second one in my mind is to analyze the tools and their product. Not just you take one and you use it, you analyze. I would certainly first find out who are the developers. What's the purpose of each of this? Some of them would help people to actually answer math questions. Some would, help you to find a reliable research resources, and see if you can find out even the inherent biases, even if you can't find it, but put your antennas up. AI literacy encompasses awareness of basic inner system of functionalities and train the data, and knowing what the data this AI uses and based on the privacy concerns and the security issues are in this one here, analysis piece. You know, when I put my stuff into Grammarly, for example, I really think it helps me to identify the things my human eyes couldn't identify, those errors. But on the other hand, I'm thinking about, are they going to take mine and put it in the data they're going to train their, especially when I have names, people's name on it, and my framework that I haven't released. Is this going to be somewhere else? So that's something I need to be careful about. Skills to evaluate the social political implications of GenAI, recognize AI's broader issues, environmental work exploration, all those, and especially data poverty when there is no data about, I don't need to explain this. Data poverty, we all know it. So the awareness helps to understand how AI might influence social structure, political processes, and access to resources, etc. So I'm thinking about we need to be careful about the social impact as well. Having this in the back of our mind helps us to use the product. If we have something, I'll show you later on why we need to be careful about this. Okay, number 5 is the create new content. Now you know the AI tools you can use, but how to apply these tools and technologies creatively, effectively, ethically. I like to put ethically everywhere, just so people don't forget about it, critically as well. Ethical creations with generative AI tools require practices and promote critical thinking skills about GenAI. AI-generated content. So just don't take what AI gave you and use it. We all know that. And you have to, there was I don't know if it's, probably I shouldn't cite this, but I'm just thinking about if a lawyer just Googled the relevant cases and just present it, and if any of those are fake, that would be a trouble for the court. So number 5 is the courage to act through reflection, reflecting on one's conduct, behavior by applying social responsibilities, ethical principles. Every research on AI costs some water and energy. So think about the environmental issues you're doing. So if you can maybe save one or two of those searches that you can save, take social actions and like creating a critical AI literate environment to create policies and create a framework for policies, guidelines, creating how teachers, professors can use it. Those are all actions that we can take. Yeah, I want to say that proudly, that PUP is an action that we're taking. Okay, here are, I'll just quickly go over some of the areas that I think critical AI can help, or you can think about it as some examples. This is more like talking about the social political concerns of AI. And I can see using access or analyze, you can call it access or assess or analyze. We can use analysis or analyze and evaluate skills. The academic integrity in the AI age, there are a lot of concerns for plagiarism, the ethical dilemma of AI uses in the classroom. How do we rethink plagiarism and redefine the assessment of learning in the classroom? What is called, like AI's being in publications nowadays, those are also the research protocols that we need to consider and how to cite it. These are all social impact aspects that we can think about. Environmental impact, I've already mentioned this. Each search causes, some consumptions of electricity and water, etc. Security impact, about 79% of college experienced a ransom attack last year. In 2023. I personally got one of those last fall. I had to wipe out everything on my computer, lost a lot of stuff. Data leaking, data protection, privacy issues. We borrow others, but we also think about it. If you draft an email on there, I would leave out the names of people. You don't know where they're going to take it to. So deepfake, of course, nothing nowadays is not true anymore. Another spelling error here. Identity theft, etc. So we can certainly use the critical skills to analyze that. Guidelines, policies, the research says that we used to say, turn it in just to check it and ban it. Now we shifted from detection-focused approaches to transparency, and we encouraging meaningful use of AI in teaching and learning. And but AI has been developing fast and outpaces many institutions in their making of policy and guidelines. And so I think critical AI literacy for everybody becomes important even for the policymakers. Some other examples I borrowed from this AI for education. Teach students how to use AI responsibly every time you get on there. Things like evaluate the output, verify the figures, quotes, etc. Engage in conversation with AI. Don't just use one prompt. Maybe I did say that to save some search, but you might want to get multiple perspectives. And we all know that we don't just use what they gave us. We have to revise, make it personal, make it personally unique for your own study. So teaching people how to do it. This is one of the critical AI skills that we can teach. Also, recognize the stereotypes, biases, subordinations. This is based on one study appeared last year. And the prompt here is write a story about 100 words or less of an American star student who mentors a struggling student. One in psychology, this one is in computer science. In two cases, the stars are Kyle or John. The struggling students are Maria or Carlos. And some other examples talked about the a mathematics star student is named Wang something. I don't even need to mention this. You see the biases in here already. So the hidden biases can be detected from there. And I created this case, but it's based on a study by Liang, etc. A group of Stanford doctoral students published this article. So I would like to take a quick look. And if you are the department chair, you are the if this case is brought up to you, what would you do? What's your thought about this? So the professor thinks this is a plagiarism issue, took 30% of the points off. And the student said, no, we didn't use AI. So what's the issue here? Feel free just to.
Oh, the issue, first of all, is how did the professor determine how the AI was used? Well, that's it. Monsieur Plourde says you can't prove it, and the students are saying they didn't use it. In our institution, this would not be the students cannot be penalized because you can't prove it, and it's very fishy right off the bat that four of them are international students.
Yeah.
So, well, exactly, bias.
Yeah. I should have said that the professor based on some kind of like Turnitin, detection of AI detection of tools. So so that's what the professor based on, but the professor doesn't know. Studies prove that AI very often is biased against non-native speakers' writing, recognize those grammar issues or choppy sentences or not non-complicated or complex ideas as AI generated rather than human generated. And people feed in non-native speakers' writing, and very often it's recognized as AI generated. And so that's based on this study and many other studies, and AI could be biased about a non-native speakers' writing, no matter what language it is. So if we decide to use any of those detection tools AI provided, we need to be careful. So that's another way of, another cases we need to teach people to be careful.
But we also need to tell people that when they input student papers into GenAI, first of all, they don't have the rights to do it because it's not they don't have the author's rights to this paper. And second of all, they should never input a student's name.
Student paper. Yes.
A student name. Because
yes.
for the GenAI to detect that it's an international student, they have to know that student's name, and that's totally against every ethical code to put a student's name in any type of AI.
I agree. Thank you. There are a lot of the privacy issues involved in here as well. So Thank you. We could also teach transparency, how to cite, since AI has been appearing in publications. And I went to this is for APA citation, based on Purdue University, but Purdue also provide other format of citations, ML or different other citations here. So if you are writing a research project, you put it in the methodology place where what AI you've been used. If you're doing a literature review, you actually say that in the introduction piece. And in the text piece, when you talk about what the finding is, what you quoted, you need to include the prompt you used and the actual text, and put it also in reference as well. Here's an example here. In the text, you say when prompted with, this is actually, I actually borrowed this from Purdue website. And then you cite is like OpenAI, you give a year, so you know what is the large language model, the year that's used. And in the references, you do this. If there's no author, you put in OpenAI, GPT, etc. Yeah, Martin, please.
However, a lot of the scientific review journals now are saying you do not cite OpenAI because OpenAI legally is not an author. And so because if OpenAI is generating a text for you, this text is taken from ideas from the database, which belong to somebody else.
Right.
So Monsieur Plourde said it earlier. We have to go back, and you did say that earlier as well in your model. You have to go back and validate the information. So in my case, I think we shouldn't cite. We should be transparent. We should say we have used OpenAI, but here are the authors from which the ideas originate.
Good point. Yeah, so all of these are still evolving, and it's changing every day. But I was thinking about this could be one of those things that we can use. Like the one of those AI, this tool, I found it helpful because it tells you, it analyzes a certain article that you want to use. And it tells you where it's published, who are the authors of even the background, even their publication, and everything pops up, and even the ranking of the journal, etc. It makes you feel like this is reliable or not. But anyway, so I think that's what I have. The next steps here is to continue to receive feedback. Welcome to give me any feedback, or even rewrite some of the description or for the framework to update it as AI evolves. And the next step for me is to create instructional materials for the call model. I mean, even the instructional materials could be tentative because AI changes all the time. New things can come up. So maybe not create a book, because you could have to provide other editions, just a digital, so you can use and change all the time. I'm open for comment, questions. Melisanda, please.
Hi, Guofang. I just have a question on your on the slide with like the reference with AI, the previous slide. If you click on the link of the reference, can you see the prompt of the student? Yes. Is it just a general, like the one
above?
Right above. Can you see the prompt of can you see the conversation with the AI, or it's just a regular? link?
I believe you won't see this. This is just an
Okay.
example they gave. I think they're giving an example of how do you cite.
Okay.
This could be done for 2023, and it could be anything new right up there. And the Purdue link is there.
Okay.
This link leads you to the Purdue University Library Guide.
Thank you so much.
I sincerely would love to have some feedback on this, especially this.
Yes, hi. So I'm Matt. I work
Matt,
at Université Laval at the College of Business, and I also work with our CTL at Université Laval in Quebec City. I do work quite a bit with, like, for instance, I'm preparing for a training for our School of Accounting on Friday about GenAI, and we're going to do like a workshop on using some of these tools and all that stuff. The one literacy framework that I use a lot right now is the one from Stanford. I don't know if you saw that one, but I put the link in the chat. But in any case, I feel like that one is very clear and easy to use and easy to reference when I talk to faculty members. So I know you guys, like, I feel like there's so many like literacy
different
frameworks out
versions.
there and different versions. Like there's the UNESCO one, and that I think you referenced it already. Can you go back to your model, the actual model that in the previous slide that you got there? Yeah. So I do like the idea because I was coming to the same conclusion as you in terms of basically AI literacy is media literacy. I was going back in my notes like from 2010, 2012 and whatever. I had done some of that stuff back in the day. And I feel like, okay, we're just spinning our wheels right now. We're just adding a layer of AI on top of, because it always comes back to the same thing when you're working with AI, you're actually just um, instead of we're looking at something that a human produced, you're looking at something that a machine produced, and you still have to use your same critical thinking in order to be able to detect if that thing is true or not. It's just that now there's that extra layer of there's going to be a massive amount of AI generated stuff that we need to go through. So I feel like we already knew that the internet was already a cesspool of half truths, and all of a sudden it's just getting worse. So we have to be even more critical. So I think that it's getting more and more important for people to be that last filter and have those skills. So it feels like back in the day, you could get around not having these skills yourself. But I feel like nowadays, even if for everyday stuff like politics or whatever, we see how it can be very polarizing when people are not using their critical thinking when looking at information online. So if I think it feels like we're going in the same direction in terms of like the kind of thinking that you went through in developing these frameworks. And I'm definitely gonna have a look at it so is it out yet or is it gonna be published? Okay. It's already out?
It will be published very soon.
Okay.
It's in press.
Okay, good. So anyway, so as soon as it gets published, I'm definitely going to be looking at it. But yeah, I think that the approach that you took is very, very like logical and goes in the same kind of same way that it's evolving from me right now. So yeah, so that would be my feedback.
Thank you. Feel free to if you have any feedback, feel free just to email me. So you don't have to wait until it's coming out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, there are different. I'll check on the Stanford one as well. I looked at a few others that I still feel this one applies better, covers the thing that I'm interested in covering. So thank you. Anyone else?
I'm just curious if there shouldn't be something that says acknowledge, I'm still not sure if it maybe in the act it can be included there, but if it should not at this point in time, maybe it's more, it needs to be put out more in front because of the importance of being transparent. So, but it could fit in the ACT.
In the ACT, I was also, I'm showing, here, this model, Anders' model. He had awareness, capability, critical, and knowledge. This is where he put in the knowledge piece. Use of AI, key terms, and ways of AI can be used, etc. I was hesitating if I'm not using the Hobbes model, I was going to do access as knowledge. I'm going to move it up here so we can see. The access piece, in my mind, has a lot of knowledge included. So knowledge of what are the tools, where are they, who can use what, for what purposes. But I could also see the ACT piece has knowledge as well.
It's not necessarily knowledge, because I think access, there's knowledge is all throughout, but acknowledge the fact that you're using it is not in the model. And I think it could be, because in order to be critical, you also have to acknowledge that you are using it to be transparent.
So you are thinking about number 5 probably can add some of that element.
I would think so.
Okay. I'll think about it. It's a good feedback. Thank you, Martin.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Thank you. Any other? I think we can go to question and answer, but we are doing question and answer, right?
Yes.
In a way.
Does anybody else have any questions for Guofang? I think one of the things that you haven't mentioned, Guofang, that you could mention is where your article will be published in 2025. I saw it when it went through, but because I know about it, but I think it would be a good idea to put it in the chat for people who want to.
Sure. I will do that. I'll do that. It's going to be in Journal of Scholarly Publishing. It's a special issue. Let me see. I believe I provided in the references here. I can cut and paste and put this in the chat, if that works.
Yeah, it's a University of Toronto Press journal.
Yeah. We probably don't need to use the share anymore. And here is the. I'm thinking about if we're going by the model, but revise it along the way. This can be a big instructional book if we illustrate the main areas of each of the skills. If we are, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about the next steps. Honestly, I don't think I can do this all by myself. The technology piece, the AI piece that comes up every day. Maybe we don't have to record now.